Good morning. Happy Saturday. Hey, I recorded an on camera video, but the voice kept quitting. So I said, let me try it over without my image on and see if it works better. The main thing is that you get the message. It was nice to look at me on camera because I know you guys like to do that, but the voice kept quitting, and without the message, there's no purpose. So anyway, let's start with the intro, and I'll be right back because we need to talk about how prepared are you for the fall. Back in a minute. This is Jan from New York City. Channel name is Jan from New York City Saves Money. And I truly, truly love helping people keep some more of their own hard-earned money. Could that be you? How prepared are you for this fall? You know, a lot of things have changed in the expense arena. This has been a challenging year for many, many people. But that doesn't mean that our hearts aren't big. That doesn't mean that we don't feel like giving. That doesn't mean we can't figure out ways to still show the people we love how much they mean to us. And now is the time to really get going. Let's talk about this for a minute. One of my suggestions to anyone listening whose, let's say, finances are, as I will call, mamsy-pamsy, well, maybe this is the perfect weekend for you to sit down and tighten up some of your financial issues. See where you stand, where you can really afford that gift list. I had to make some readjustments like every single other person that I know anyway this year in terms of where my reallocations of funding was going, things that I needed to cut out of my budget, because it is really important for me to continue to live below or within my means. I don't like using a credit card. I try my best to never, ever, ever have to use a credit card, because a credit card is the bank's money and you have to pay it back. If I can't afford something at that moment, to be honest with you, I have to say, well, too bad, so sad. Sometimes in life, we have to say, too bad, so sad. But the main thing is being honest. And even though we get caught up with the lights and the music and the fun, I love the holiday season just as much as the next person. Now, of course, not everyone shares in my sentiments or your sentiments, but I love this separate, as I call it, practically magical time of the year. And of course, it's not magic, but it's the way we view things of special, of different. But we can't get so caught up with all those lights, music, and festivities, things like beyond our affordability, and forget reality. Because there is something that I say every single year. And if a person knows me long enough and has been following this channel long enough, what's the little speech I give every year? The January still comes speech. Well, Jan, what are you talking about? January still comes. Well, that's just it. A lot of people who forget that when they use their credit card, which is not their money, but it is the bank's money, and I say it all the time, they forget one thing. Even though the lights are bright, even though the music is fun, even though that feel-good feeling of when you want to gift someone, and I know you really want to from the bottom of your heart, but you may not be able to afford at this moment in time, maybe one day down the pike. But let's be realistic. This year was a lot of adjustments. So what happens is people take their emotions out. They take their emotions out via their credit card. Put it this way. If you can't afford to pay for it in cash, then that means, guess what? You shouldn't buy it. I mean, right then and there. I don't care how shiny and bright that penny looks. You just have to be honest with yourself. So, for example, let's say that 5 years ago, you were able to spend X number of dollars for 20 people's holiday gifts, right? Without blinking an eyelash. Well, guess what? Maybe this year things have changed, because if your income hasn't changed since 5 years ago, I could promise you this much. As you know already, don't have to tell you this, expenses have changed greatly. Heating expenses, grocery bill expenses. And even no matter how careful we try to be, it still somehow and in some ways affects us. But not to the point where we can't give. No, this is the time we just need to be honest with our gift giving budget. And I also want to get back to talking about Thanksgiving, which is much closer than Christmas is to us. Okay. Now, not everyone can afford a Thanksgiving turkey. True or false? True. The prices have gone up quite a little bit since, let's say, 10 years ago. Okay. Not everyone actually even likes turkey. And not everyone can even bake or roast a turkey because it's too difficult for the physical limitations, picking up a heavy roast, and et cetera, and doing things like that, taking it on. Things that could have been done maybe by that same person, let's say 15 years ago, maybe took on a little bit of a change at this time. So everybody's life is different. There is no cookie cutter right way to celebrate that day. Although the American tradition has always been the turkey, the cranberry sauce, you name it. We all know what our favorite foods are, the ones that, partake and do enjoy this. But that doesn't mean you don't have permission to adjust your budget accordingly. This is the time to refrain from keeping up with the Joneses. If all you can afford at this moment in time, if your grocery budget permits you to, let's say, get a little roast or chicken as opposed to an expensive turkey, then that's fine. And you work around it. There are some wonderful videos out there. And there's one I'm going to share from the Frugal Money Saver Channel. Hey, Emmy, I don't know if you're listening, but Emmy and Paul. And for those who are not familiar with that channel, wow, you got to get familiar with that channel. Such sweet people. But there was a video they did, I don't know if it was a year or two back, on how to put together a $25 Thanksgiving dinner. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to include this in the description box below. So you have that. Another fun thing I decided to do, let's get back to the Christmas thing for a minute. Now, you may have some hidden money that you completely forgot about. What are you talking about, Jan? Remember all those times I mentioned change jars? You might have been putting money in change jars and just set it and forget it and literally forgot about it. So look around, cash them in, and you may want to include that in your gift giving fund. Let's talk about gifting for a brief second. Of course, as time goes by and I get much closer to the Christmas holiday, you'll hear more stories about gift giving. But I can tell you this much, a lot of people, either they save a lot of money this way or they waste a lot of money this way on the packaging of the gift. Now, a friend of mine recently visited me on video chat the other day, and she showed me what she picked up at her local dollar store. I wish I had a dollar store close by me, but I do not, unfortunately. I guess this area rather sell boutique handbags instead. But, real people also like dollar stores. Just saying. But you know what my friend showed me? She picked up at the dollar store. These are cardboard boxes, extremely sturdy, but they're gift boxes and they're built-in decoration. You don't have to do a thing with it. It has the ribbon on it. You could get them square. You could get them rectangular. I believe you could even get round boxes. Sort of like a throwback to the olden days when they used to sell this kind of strong cardboard gift boxes. Really, really cool. And in my opinion, presentation of a gift is half the battle won. So a person, may be interested in getting one of those gift boxes, for example. That's just the start of it. But throughout the whole year, what I personally like to do, and this may sound really cheesy to some people, but I like to do this. For example, if I'm visiting a friend or a relative that's having, let's say, a shower, a wedding shower or a baby shower or whatever special occasion, 90% of the time, the gift recipients do not want to keep any of the ribbons, any of the papers, any of the bows, any of the boxes, because it's more cumbersome for them to remove what they have to take home. So guess who never minds sitting next to that gift recipient and collecting all the ribbons, the bows, the papers, you name it, I'm there. I am definitely frugal and I live the frugal lifestyle. And I tell you something, by getting all those wrapping papers and et cetera, over time, it adds up. I keep it in my gift giving collection so that at any time of the year, I can just go in there for free and utilize. You would be shocked and amazed. So when you do go to the dollar type store, be mindful of the paper and the bags that you give away. Are they reusable? When you are gifted, suppose somebody sends you a gift, don't just throw away the papers that are in the tissue paper and the shopping bags. Don't be so quick to discard. Keep a box inside of your closet and put those empty, wonderful, but in excellent condition wrapping accessories, put them away. You'll be so surprised at the money that you save. You could also be very creative, and you could create gift tags with a lot of those things. So just saying as a little bit of a preventative measure. So let's get back to the Thanksgiving meal. So imagine a $25 Thanksgiving meal. This is affordable. And by the way, that video will absolutely help you to feed not one person, not two persons. If I'm not making a mistake, 6 people. Hello, 6 people, feeding 6 people for Thanksgiving on $25. This should pique your interest no matter what you decide to do. So I'm sorry that my on-camera video, I just felt that because the sound kept darting in and out, I said, this is not fair to my audience. So what I'm going to try to do is be on camera on the Sunday show coming up. So in the meantime, thank you so much for listening. And as always, I really do appreciate every single person's time. But I really believe that we should do more like this lady does. Fantastic day. I hope to see you on camera real soon. Take good care.